Yo guys, welcome to the Napalm tutorials. This is going to be a tutorial that kind of talks about shortcuts and easy ways to make new and fresh sounds in beatboxing. There's a lot of things that I do in my creative process where it might sound like there's a lot of different things going on, but I'm taking a lot of shortcuts in my beats and a lot of, not easy way outs, but I'm kind of tricking people to think that there's other things going on, but there's not. Let me explain further. So I'm going to talk about a couple different beats that I do. The first one being a beat that's in my Chicka Booga Aga Booga beat. We all know it. So I'm going to be talking about that one specific part in the last part of that. So that is used doing 3 different sounds, and they're 3 very, very basic sounds. The first one, the outward K. That's one of the first sounds that we learn in Boots and Cats, that sound. The second sound, it is a shortcut, just like I explained earlier. It's something that makes other things easier to do. It's something that kind of tricks your mind into thinking there's other things going on. So whenever I'm doing that beat, I'm doing so it's like and then whenever I like really hone that down and I really bring it down and like, focus the pressure just in this one part of my throat, I can make it sound like there's extra sounds going on, but it's really just going and then the snare, I use a cough snare. So the cough snare, I'm going to be explaining this a little differently throughout a lot of my tutorials because I do a lot of different types of cough snares, but for the basic so this is how I like to explain it. The cough snare, it is basically to me a loud whisper with a cough motion in front of it. So let me explain. If I whisper really loudly, it sounds like this. Hey guys, welcome here, welcome to the tutorial. So that is the loud whisper. And then if you put a cough motion, regular cough, you can create the cough snare. So let me put them together. You have the hey, you have the so if you put the 2 together, use the pressure of the cough to initiate the whisper. You hear how that first part is really that cough, it's really that like hit of it. It's that like, first part of the cough, it's like kind of the hit of the snare, because all snares, they should have a hit to them, unless if you're messing with dynamics and you don't want it to have that. But basically every snare should have that, smack to it. It should really hit. So for the cough snare, it is the cough and the whisper. And you can even shorten that sound by closing your mouth. So the full beat breakdown. The way that I'm using those different outward Ks, it changes throughout that beat, and you can hear it change, because in the beginning, it's and then I put the snare at the end. Nice. Make sure you guys practice that. You can practice along with me if that makes it easier. And now I'm going to move on to another part of that beat. It's doing an outward K and an inward K right after it. So, first of all, it's important to learn the inward K snare. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on that sound specifically next week, but check it out. Whenever you do an outward K and an inward K right after, it's another version of a shortcut, because I'm not doing 2 sounds. I'm not doing like I'm not breathing out and breathing in as fast as I can. I put the 2 sounds together so they activate one another. So the outward K, it sort of activates the inward K right before I do it. Now, to practice that sound, it might be a little easier to do some other sounds with it, and that's another example of shortcuts. Sometimes it's not easy to just do what you're trying to do. Sometimes it makes it easier to do other sounds before it. For example, so to practice this, I would do something like a B kick drum and then try to do it. So the kick drum activates the outward motion for the outward snare. They're easy to do one after another. And then once you have that down, you can start practicing how to make both of those two sounds activate the inward K. And that takes time to figure out how to actually have them activate each other, because that's not something that you could just figure out. You have to figure out how your mouth works, where the sounds are actually at, where you're actually going to be, placing the sounds in your mouth one after another. Not everything is going to sound perfect as soon as you start it. It takes time to figure out where the sound is in your mouth. It takes time to figure out exactly what you have to do to make it consistent and to make it clean. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you tune in next week for the next edition of Napalm Tutorials.